Now, our next story is in Zimbabwe, where activists are pressing the government to reform the country's prison system. Rights groups say the country's jails are overcrowded and a shortage of medicines, food and other basics violate the rights of inmates.
Chikurubi Maximum Security Prison, one of Zimbabwe's 46 jails. The men's section here was meant for 1,300 inmates. It currently holds almost double that number. Convicts and wardens alike bemoan packed cells and crumbling facilities. Water supplies are erratic and there is a shortage of food and medication. Some inmates complain the cells are infested with lice and other vermin. At the clinic in the women's section, inmates say basic painkillers and antibiotics are impossible to come by, meaning prisoners risk dying from easily treatable conditions.
We know that shortly after he became president, Emmerson Mnangagwa granted amnesty to about 3,000 prisoners, and that was a bid, as I understand, to decongest the country's jails. Is this something that the authorities are willing to work with you and organizations like yourselves on?
Absolutely. Our engagement has been pretty good. We've recently had a roundtable discussion, first of all, with civil society organizations that are working within the prison sector. We also had a round two of these roundtable discussions where we had policymakers discussing that in as much as granting amnesty or decongesting the prisons is probably a short-term basis, there are other issues that need to be looked into. We're recommending the parole board, which is established in terms of the Prisons Act, to actually be put into place in order that in the long term we have those who are serving longer sentences be put on licensed release so that we don't have congested prisons, as well as looking into training of prison officers or the correctional officers that are actually working within the prison sector to have a more human rights approach to match with the UN standards. So I would say with their reception, we're moving in the correct direction in Zimbabwe.